This is Daily Blast Live. We're talking about what you're talking about. Real, honest, entertaining, live. DBL starts right now.
Welcome to DBL. It's Memorial Day, Monday, May 31st. I'm Sam here with Jeff and Al, and we hope that all of you are having a safe holiday. Most important, as we honor and remember those who have made the ultimate sacrifice for this country. All of us have veterans in our lives.
Absolutely.
So we appreciate you all. Love you. Now, today we are looking back at some of our best moments here at DBL. You know, the ones that get us all fired up and get you talking, like the story about a man who was arrested after allegedly defrauding 35 women out of $1,000. Everyone but me thought that the punishment didn't fit the crime. Have a look.
Why is that arrestable?
Because he's
arrestable? Is that a word?
Sam, how many people do you know say I go on Tinder dates and Bumble dates for the free dinner, even if I don't like the guy?
Is that fraud? Once in college.
Yes.
You should be arrested.
I was broke as a joke in college, and I did that once.
What if he says he's broke?
That's crazy.
What do you mean? Listen, I don't know if he should be arrested, but I'm glad that they have flagged him, because we think of it as him collecting gifts, right? But usually when you have someone that manipulates women that way to gain either money from them or to gain some sort of status or whatever it may be, they put on a facade so those women fall hard, right? They don't present their normal self. They present this idealistic, perfect man, so the women fall hard. The women think that they're going to spend the rest of their life with him.
Are you the prosecution in a Lifetime movie?
Exactly.
You're the one that turned
Lindsay, is it illegal to be a player?
Whoa! What?
That's what I'm saying. Like breaking somebody's heart is not against the law. Playing games with somebody, lying, it's all terrible, but it's not against the law.
Lindsay, the reason why I'm semi an expert in this is because of Albert Jackson, because you made me watch a documentary called
Love Fraud.
Love Fraud, and this fits right in there.
He was taking like their life savings. Now, look, this guy basically got the equivalent of dinner. He only got like $1,000. So that means that he's like, it's my birthday.
Like 35 women. And he got $1,000. He needs a new scheme. Like, that's a little bit of money from divided by 35 a person. Like, what's happening?
See, that's my point. He was just like a low-key player. That's all right.
I'm not saying we need to throw him in jail.
Get him a purple Cadillac.
A what?
Player.
Okay.
All right, Sam, it's like, what?
I can't.
Playa.
Do you know what a playa is now, Sam?
What do you mean? If they would have showed the whole clip, I said that, but they clipped it. I said, yeah, playa, purple Cadillac, like in the 70s.
No, I said purple Cadillac. And then things got heated, just like things also got heated between Tori, Lindsay, and me.
We could have discussed.
I thought that was the discussion.
No, I think we had like 30 seconds to discuss.
Okay, well then discuss the purple
Sam, give
Cadillac.
us your pitch on that you're a playa.
What?
Give us your pitch.
Have you ever been a player?
No.
No, I don't. Your personality doesn't.
No,
I don't.
I'm monogamous, but don't hate the playa, hit the game.
All right.
Nice. Well done.
All right. Well, obviously we're just joking, but things did get a little heated between Tori, Lindsay, and myself over Jill Biden's decision to wear fishnet patterned stockings. That's right. Take a look.
What?
She looks like she is about to go to the Viper Room in L.A. in '86. She's the first lady, Lindsay. You're not going to the 40-40 club. She cannot dress like that.
She can use it wherever
if
she can.
Melania wore that, she would get lit up, and you know it.
Let's talk about Melania, because I remember she posed nude for many, many years. She also wore a jacket saying, "I don't really care, do you?"
Let's talk about this outfit.
Okay, but I'm more worried that is getting, what you say is, this is getting like so much hype, and we forget that other first ladies out there have also done things. I also want to say first ladies are human. They're human beings. They're women.
They're first ladies.
They're
too.
sexy women. Like Betty Ford had dealt with addiction.
Fishnets and
no, but she dealt with addiction, and she had the Betty Ford Center. They're human beings that are sexy and unsexy and make mistakes. They are not to be held to some greater power that they can't do that. I think she looked great.
You cannot have it both ways. You cannot say I'm the first lady, and with that becomes a certain set of privileges, a certain set of moral standards that you are asked to be to uphold.
So fishnets isn't moral?
Yeah, it's not appropriate.
Were you mad at Michelle Obama when she wore shorts? Because that was a look that everybody wasn't used to either.
Or no stockings.
I'm
Remember,
talking about when you're being filmed coming off Air Force
She was being
One,
filmed. She had on shorts.
Come straight.
And I thought Michelle Obama should be able to do what she wants. I'm used to seeing them in a nice dress that looks like they're about to go to a public event, but like there's 365 days in every year, and every day there's not something for the First Lady to do, I'm sure.
And she also works out extensively, has a great body that can rock those tights. She's not too old. Old women should feel able to be sexual.
Old women.
Oh my gosh.
Al, you took it on that one.
I still stand by my point. What they're saying is erroneous. You cannot have it both ways. You cannot get to fly around on Air Force One, be in a limo all day, be the First Lady, but also just, hey, yeah, the president's wearing a sleeveless tank today. No, you cannot have it both ways.
She showed her knees.
She didn't
showed her calves.
She had on fish. I'm not talking about the shorts. I'm talking about the fishnets. Come on, man.
They were pattern tights, and she was pretending to be a flight attendant. She was yes, she was pretending.
What airline is that?
She was pretending on Air Force One to surprise everybody in there. She was pretending to be the flight attendant. It was part of her garb.
I've flown for 15 years. I've never seen a flight attendant dressed like that.
Okay.
Ever.
It's not a big deal. Go ahead, Jeff.
Hey, Al.
What's up, man?
You remember that time you stunned us with your eloquence over the Weeknd's decision to spend $7 million for his own money for the Super Bowl halftime show, but then the discussion went in a totally different direction, as it always does on this show, thanks to Sam.
Yes.
There's a reason that these commercials cost so much money for 30 seconds, because everybody knows this is the only time in a world where everything is fractured and people watch YouTube and TikTok and TV and cable. This is the only time where the whole world's looking at what you're doing, so you better come correct.
Amen. He's so good
Why
today.
is Al being so good
you
today?
Are, whatever you ate for breakfast, whether it's Frosted Flakes or Corn Flakes, you got it, buddy.
But he only eats cereal.
Well, you know, remember Frosted?
Yeah, no.
He's not
Great
11.
improv, Sam.
Frosted Flakes, other flakes.
The tiger gives you that extra roar.
Al, did you eat out of a plastic bowl, too, with the wrong hand?
How's your sippy cup?
Sorry. Baby, I meant your Wheaties, buddy. Your Wheaties.
We'll go get a Happy Meal after the show. Good job, buddy.
Just forget I said all that.
I think the last time Sam was at the grocery store was 1980.
I haven't been to the grocery store.
There's
Good for
new
you.
cereals, Sam.
Huh?
Wheat checks.
Wheat checks.
There's new cereals.
I know there's new cereals. I have 2 kids.
You're only mentioning Wheaties and Corn Flakes like it's the
Wheaties
40s.
and Frosted Flakes were all about being the eye of the tiger and being your best champion. Nobody put that together.
Wheaties was actually about Olympic champions. It had nothing to do with tigers at all.
Okay, I can't. No.
Roar. No, we get you. Totally the tiger.
Thank you.
Totally got you.
I think our viewers got me. The viewers definitely got me, because I remember that day people wrote in, Sam was trying to connect you being on your tip-top shape in comparison to the whole campaign behind Wheaties and Tony the Tiger and Frosted Flakes about being your best
You
selling.
already screwed it up. You said tip-top shape. You meant top of his game.
Or tip-top
And
shape.
also,
No, you don't
she
say top-
keeps
tip-top
incorporating
shape.
Tony the Tiger with Wheaties, and they don't get along. They don't cross over at any point.
Yes,
you
they
need to
do.
understand that before we move on with the show.
That's not true.
Wheaties and Tony the Tiger are 2 totally competing separate companies.
Of course they are, but they both make you at the top of your game.
There you go. Nailed
so
it.
much.
Oh my God, I can't. Okay, so I found this next story fascinating. I told our producers about it. An 18,000-year-old, this one. An 18,000-year-old conch shell that
boy.
scientists now say was likely one of the world's first wind instruments.
Are you sure you want to save this for like best moments ever?
This is, you guys are about to hear what music sounded like 18,000 years ago. Enjoy. It's amazing! You guys! That's music from 18,000 years ago. Now, mind you, they just blew into it, so it's a new set of lungs, but that's what we would have heard 18,000 years ago. What's wrong, Al?
That's not you. That was not music.
Yes,
that
it is.
How do you know that they played that as music?
Because it had a hole in the conch shell.
Yeah, maybe somebody dropped it.
No, Albert, it had a perfect hole so they could jam out to this. This is amazing.
You know what? Actually, in Judaism, they use a ram's horn as a shofar to call people for prayer, and it's so loud it brought people for prayer. So perhaps this was a gathering call.
This was actually before all that, Tori. This is like prehistoric era. Yeah, so this is what they did to try and entertain themselves.
Should have done the Paris
I
Hilton
want
story.
everyone to know that I sat down and wrote down all my ideas to pitch stories and talked to my boss. We've done none of them. Now we're doing a conch story.
I
dropped
every night.
Just for everyone.
I send in stories every night.
This one made it.
And a
I
lot of
wouldn't
the
claim this story at all. I wouldn't claim this.
I'm so proud of that story. We got to hear what music sounded like that long ago. That's incredible. No?
But there was, how did that music, somebody just blowing into something that sends sound out? It's not music, there's no bass line.
That wasn't the only instrument.
What was the story behind that song that we heard?
Well, you have to imagine it's that horn. Maybe somebody's banging.
Imagine it's code for make something up.
Maybe somebody else is doing like a makeshift rock xylophone. So you have to put it all together, and it's quite the tune. Coming up on DBL, we're shining the spotlight on two dads who found an abandoned baby in the subway.
Oh, I love this story.
And raised him as their own, proving love is all you need. Where are you going? And to Jeff's, where's Jeff going? We're not done.
I was looking a little oily.
I'm still reading. Okay, and DBL Nation, simple question here. Who cheats more, men or women? We're going to go there. Coming up next. Welcome back to DBLs. We remember topics that got us talking. There's nothing like a good old battle of the sexes. Who cheats more, men or women? Watch.
Because I think men think about sex 1,000,000 times more than women. And I don't mean that in a sexist way. I really don't. I just think when they look outside, they just see sex, 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 sex,
Okay.
sex, sex, sex.
Al,
Yeah, but
is that true? How many
yes.
times a day do you think about sex?
I don't count, Sam.
Yes.
It's not an app on my
You
phone.
lost count.
But I'll tell you this. This is my point, and this is why I think it's women, is because men can think all you want. I can think about a lobster dinner right now. It doesn't mean I can have it. Women can usually have the partner that they choose when they choose. And that's just a fact. So if they do want to cheat, they have more options. I've read about this a lot with couples that decide to open their relationship. They're like, the guy's like, all right, more girls. But what happens is the wife has as many partners as she wants, and the dude is at home in his sweatpants playing Call of Duty like, let's close this relationship back up, because men don't have as many options.
You didn't really answer the question.
I did.
No,
I
you
said,
didn't.
So
You
it's
dodged it.
it's about thinking about it, or actually being able to have as much.
No. Who thinks about sex more? That was the survey. Who thinks
Men.
about sex more? Now you say it. What do you think?
I would lean towards men.
Like, how many times a day do you think about sex?
I think it's less than you'd think.
Tell us.
I'm always thinking about.
What do you think how many times is for us? What do you think?
I bet you think about sex maybe like once every 10 minutes.
No.
No?
Me and Jeff were just talking about an outdoor sauna. We're old.
Okay.
It's not like checking your email.
Yeah, I don't even
be-
do that much.
We'll be right back.
Welcome back to DBL. Before gay marriage was legal, two men became fathers in the most unexpected way. One of them found a baby in the subway. Here's Tori's conversation with these dads in our DBL Spotlight.
Your story is fascinating. You adopted and raised your son after finding him abandoned in the subway as a newborn. Danny, take me back to that day. What happened after you realized what you spotted in the subway was a baby in 2000?
You know, this was before cell phones, so I didn't have any way to notify the police or anything. So I had a quarter in my pocket. Actually, I had a couple of quarters. And so I went up to the payphone up on the street to call the police, and I just said, I found a baby. Well, they probably thought it was a prank call. I said, well, I need to let Pete know. If I call him and he calls, then they'll believe that this is real. So I called him and I blurted out, I found a baby. And as I was saying this and telling him where I was, that's when the police showed up, and I just hung the phone up on him.
Okay, so Pete, you're on the other end of the line. You hear, I found a baby. That day, what did you think when he then hung up on you after saying that?
Well, he was late for dinner. We were supposed to have dinner, and he was late, so I thought he was going to tell me he was canceling or even going to be a little bit later. So when I heard him say what he said, I was like, what is going on? That was my first reaction. It was like everything happened so like millions of thoughts at once. Danny doesn't joke. He doesn't joke around. This must be serious.
Right.
So before he had a chance to hang up with me, I said, where are you? And he blurted out that he was at the 15th Street, 8th Avenue subway station in New York. It was quite a scene. And then we sort of went on with our lives.
Yeah.
You know, he was placed into the foster care system. And then 6 weeks later, Danny gets a call from an administration for children's services lawyer. Like you.
Yeah, and so they call me and say, we've been looking for you, and we are having a hearing to terminate the baby's parental rights. I go in there, I tell the story, you know, all the circumstances that led to me finding the baby, and then the judge says, can you stay here for the remainder of the hearing? And the next thing out of her mouth was, would you be interested in adopting this baby?
My gosh.
I paused for a second, and then I said, yes, but I don't think it's that easy. And she said, well, it can be.
Wow.
If you are interested and you say yes, it can be.
Oh my God.
I didn't even realize what was happening. It was just like everything was spinning out of control in that moment.
I gotta be honest,
it is all a blur.
It's all a blur, but I gotta be honest, that's like a divine moment that you were there, they were there, you had that judge with that thought process and everything happened. That's divine. I gotta ask, let's talk about Kevin first off. What is it like for Kevin to learn about the day you found him? Do you guys talk about it? Are y'all open about it? Or do you kind of keep it in the past?
Oh, no.
No, we've always been open about it because we knew this was such a public story.
Right.
That everyone around him in his life would know of the story. So we wanted to make sure he heard it from us. So from the earliest days when we would tell him bedtime stories, we would tell him about how we became a family. And as a couple of years later, we then put together Pete put together a very simple children's book of telling the story, but telling the story from the perspective of the trains. So the trains are animated. And they tell the story of like how we found each other.
I did want to know if you guys have found or had any attempts to find Kevin's birth parents, Danny. And I know that's kind of tricky. Does Kevin want to?
Well, that's a very good question. And early on, he was curious, and so we would tell him what we knew, which was not a lot.
Right.
And so he did have an interest in just knowing what she might have looked like.
Right.
And as time went on, he kind of let that go. But most recently, we've talked about this as he's known more about where exactly he's from, based on genetic DNA testing.
Sure.
And so we brought this up. We saw him recently, and we brought this up. Would you be interested in knowing more, meeting anyone? And he said, no, not right now. I've got too much going on. We let him know that it's okay. I mean, we would want him to be able to know. We wouldn't want to keep any of that from him, or for him to feel like he needs to, in any way, not be able to know that.
Well, tell Kevin I say hello. I just have to say, Danny and Pete, really such a lovely interview. Thank you so much for joining us, for being at that station, for being open to adoption, for the divine. All of that really just made my day, and I'm sure it'll make our viewers' day. Thank you again, and we'll be right back.
Welcome back to DBL. Yes, it's true. We're not perfect, but anything can happen when the cameras are rolling, and we've got a few of those moments for you now. Enjoy.
Don't say anything stupid.
She's been shunned? Is that what you mean?
I don't know what word I'm looking for. It's Friday. I'm kind of checked out.
Or maybe
Why is it
it's
so
lucky.
dark in your
Showing
house?
closet?
Why did it? Are you? What's going on? Did your power?
Yeah.
Power
Wait,
outage?
what?
I'm going to tell you.
Is that better?
I'm making my way downtown.
Vanessa
Walking
Carlton.
fast, faces pass, and I'm homebound.
And I feel like there's something. Sorry. Okay, listen.
First day on the job,
I
Al.
don't know how to turn this stupid thing off.
Why are you guys laughing?
I'm not.
Yes, you were.
No, I
You
was-
don't think I have peripheral vision?
First of all, if anybody, it was Jeff, and I was just gonna.
Let's get back to the story. Is that you?
Sam is drinking on air. Do you have a microphone on, Sam?
This very exclusive site.
What's wrong with you?
I don't know what's going on.
What is
It's
going
Friday.
on?
I'm ready to get out of here.
Yeah.
I feel like the tape. I had more airtime on those bloopers than anybody else.
I wonder why.
But your bloopers were just honest. You were just like, I'm ready to go. It's Friday. I'm done. Like, everybody appreciates the honesty.
Dude, part of the reason I got into this business is because of bloopers.
Oh.
I just like, it looked so much fun.
And
I was
now
like-
you lend to them.
And now I'm the biggest contributor. Yes.
Yeah, that's what people like. Everybody, if you look at everything on YouTube, it's news bloopers. They don't want to see perfection. They want to see the
We have
bloopers.
so many. We need to have like an hour full of bloopers one day. That's all for our best episode.
There's one.
Thank you for watching. Have a safe Memorial Day. Bye-bye.
Bye.